What's going on? This is the Gemini Exotica podcast, episode 6, Medusa Mantra. Alright, a Medusa, her gaze will turn you to stone. Well, I smoked some Medusa, and now I am stoned. Stoned has a couple of forms, right? Stoned is to attack. Stoned is to relax. Stoned is like that meme, he attack. That's stoned. If you don't know how to smoke Medusa, I feel bad for you, It's a strain of the Wamapongdong. That's a ancient root. Only naturally grows in the southern coast of Siberia. It grows strictly from the marrow of mammoth bones. And it's said to have magical properties like syphilis avoidance, love meet your makering, love meet your makering. That's when you have unprotective love with a rando, and you do it so hard you die and go to hell. Also, the last magical property is that it grants you a poncho. You just get a very cool poncho in the mail. It's waterproof and colorful. It just comes overnight shipping after smoking the Medusa. But, Medusa is a snake lady. She's a garden freak. I don't even know what that means. But speaking of garden freaks, is it just me or that women in nature are so delightful? Like, just think of a girl, strolling through the forest. I'm not talking like Red Riding Hood. I'm talking like a girl with boots and like hiking pants. What are those, like cargo? Like boots, cargo, 2 poles, trudging along. Or like a lady in an alpine meadow. Or like a girl emerging from a swamp. The lily pads are strewn about her like straps, and the dirty water droplets, off-colored brown, full of bacteria, just dripping off her body, and just a frog on her head for comedic relief. Okay, maybe not a swan, but a lake, In the lake, there's like a loon in the water, and that's your girl, I like a loon. I like her to be a little bit insane, right? I feel like if you like a sane girl, that means you're insane. Alright, where was I? Okay. I enjoy the natural look, I can't lie. I like my girl hairy. Like, so hairy you aren't even sure it's a woman, Because I think woman's body hair is an interesting subject, right? Because it is common practice for women to shave, right? But men rarely shave. But also, like it's, I guess, a culture thing for a woman to shave. And I'm a bit confused because it's like, men don't need to shave. So it's like, if you don't do something, why would you expect someone else to do that thing, right? And that applies to the shaving. And it's like the whole thee and not me, thee and not thee, though and not they, whatever those pronoun things are. But to me, the idea of ladies shaving just seems off. Call me old-fashioned, you know what I mean? Like old-fashioned, like caveman, cave people, caveman old-fashioned, you know what I mean? But I really do believe I think the woman should just let it grow out completely. And I'm talking everything, you know what I mean? I'm talking from the unibrow to the unibush, the whole shebang. And if you're wondering what the unibush is, the unibush connects the pubis to the ass crack. You feel me? But in my opinion, and I mean, I'm not a doctor, I feel a healthy woman has lots of hair, right? So if anything, men should be happy for a hairy lady, because that means she's extraordinarily healthy. Like, she's eating a lot of spinach and fruit and all that good stuff. But, it's just under my impression that men look for wide hips, but what they should be looking for is thick hair follicles. Men look for, like, a high probability of obedience. I'm looking for a low probability of ingrown hairs. You know what I mean? I want strong, healthy, clean-growing strands of hair. All in all, I embrace woman's body hair entirely if they choose to keep it on, right? It's their choice. That's it, right? My body, my choice applies to the baby, it applies to the hair, all that good stuff, right? But, if they choose to take it off, do me a favor, if you guys can collect it and save it for me, put it in a little baggie, preferably airtight. My address is 999 Wim Wham Way, Wisconsin. Oh, I just hit a box. But honestly, though, like, the natural look, like, I'm talking full natural, like, natural, seems like a bit much, and I think we can all agree, right? It's a little bit extreme. Like, I say, yeah, I like the great outdoors. I don't live in the woods sleeping on beds of moss for 3 weeks. I go camping twice a year, right? But that's like kind of the same thing with the hair, right? And I like to keep it like a general rule of thumb for me, right? I like the idea of keep the crotch like it's in the military. You know what I mean? Well trimmed, maintained, aligned, and really go about it like you're an interior designer. And by interior, I mean like the inside of your underwear. You know what I mean? Lines lined up, keep the pubic in line with the pubis. When someone looks at it, it wants to look comfy, but open. Things are well bedded, I guess. Curlage tight. But you want to see a little bit of skin. It doesn't need to be full skin, but you want to be able to see a little bit. Comfy, but open. Possibly a mix of modern with a classic design. You know what I'm saying? We're not going full farmhouse, but we'll have some barn doors that lead into the sunroom. Okay, so this episode is, titled Medusa Mantra. And, the story of Medusa is a tragic one, right? Essentially, she had her hair turned to snakes from a jealous lady. She was beheaded by a goofy man. Her beheaded head was used to petrify people. That's one way to use a head to get someone hard. Excuse me. But, overall sad story, right? But what got me interested in Medusa was her use in feminist art, right? And what's interesting to me is, there's a lot of, I guess ancient Greece has an interesting crossover to the modern feminism, right? Mainly, Greek mythology is very similar to feminist mythology, right? First and foremost, gender pay gap is a myth. I'm just kidding. There's no glass ceiling, it's just an open-air temple. This is just a joke. The gender pay gap is like the thigh gap. Some girls have it, most girls don't. Just comedy. I feel I'm a feminist, right? I believe in equal pay and all that other stuff, like girls can climb mountains and yada yada yada. No, I feel like I'm a feminist because I I like powerful women. And I say that with honesty, right? I mean, all the mentors and I guess supporters in my life have been women. And and it's like, it's weird because, if you like a powerful woman, if you want a woman to be in charge, if you support that, it's almost like you're kind of like a simp. And if that's the case, well then guess what? I'm fine being a simp. I don't care. I like powerful, independent women. I like girls to have success. And the thing is, I want a society that supports that mythology. I mean, that supports that ideology. Um, like I said, just a joke. Greek mythology is very similar to Greek Orthodox. The god part. Well, one has the gods and the other has a god, but both are myths. I am actually religious, and a proud one too. And I guess going on the first feminist joke, it just goes to show, you can joke around about something, but still believe in it, right? God jokes, feminist jokes. It's all the same thing, But I am a religious guy, and I'm proud to be one, So for all of my religious jokes that I have, like answering, like when I make a feminist joke and I have to answer to my mom, I believe I'm gonna go to heaven, right? And I'm gonna have to answer to God, right? And I can't wait to answer to God for all my religious jokes. Like, what if like Jesus is mad? Like, oh Jesus, you can't take a joke? No, literally, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, you can't take a joke? Oh, you can't take a joke? Well, let me call my boy Zeus over. He'll get a kick out of this. What? You can exist, but Zeus can't? Oh, what are you crying now? Okay, go tell your dad. You know what? Forget this. Forget it. I'm going to Mount Olympus. But, mythology is very cool, in my opinion, right? And I guess this is like kind of Greek-based, but all mythology, ranging everywhere, I'm talking like, why is mythology cool, right? Because you got monsters, heroes, gods, and goddesses. It's like Game of Thrones, but just kind of for Greek people. But I mean, the Greeks need a W. I mean, their country's kind of financially screwed. Okay, back on track. I think I like mythology because I basically live in a fantasy world of my own. So reading the stories is cool because I can respect the creativity, right? And plus the stories are of triumph and victory. Like when Perseus clapped Medusa's cheeks, right? And he did. Or at least you thought about it, snake hair or not. Listen, I don't even blame him for having the thought. If I was in his shoes, his winged shoes flying around, I would, And, from what I've seen, it's just snake hair and a woman body, which is very accommodatable. Accommodable. What's that hotel word? Accommodatable. The snake hair and the woman body is very accommodable. But if it was like a snake body with a woman top, it would be like a serpent mermaid. It would depend. It would very much depend on, how long I was on this heroic adventure. How long have I been away from home? How many shots of tequila I had in me? I guess this is ancient Greek. How many glasses of wine I had in me. But, it would depend, was I on the ship for 3 months sailing around the Mediterranean looking for Medusa? I get there, who knows what would happen. In this situation, what about Medusa's eyes? How to avoid that? Well, I mean, that's a pretty simple solution, right? You just throw in promo. And maybe if you're experiencing some troubles, you can have her, You can have her stare at your member, you feel me? And she's like, look at me in the eyes. And you're like, sorry, members only. And, maybe you just throw a blindfold on her. I mean, Medusa's a snake woman. She's got to be freaky. She's a garden freak. She'll be mad because you always want to throw the blindfold at her. You can't accept her for who she is. And she'll be mad. She's like, you're such a mean guy. You have such a heart of stone. And you're like, well, stop looking at my chest. Oy. Well, those are all the jokes I got for this segment. But, there was a lot of Medusa, there was a lot of Greek, feminism, all that good stuff. But, the reason why I kind of thought about Medusa really was, like, the idea of Medusa chasing you, right? If Medusa's chasing you out of her snake cave, you just gotta run straight, right? If you turn around and look at her, you turn to stone, okay? And I think that's a lot like life, in the fact that your past is behind you, you have to move forward, but if you turn around, you get stuck, right? So, like, really, the past is like embarrassment and the idea of, like, I should have done this, I should have done that, just generally horrible negative emotions, right? And the past could clutch on to you, and it really prevents you from achieving your potential. And I know this because in the past, using the past memories, yada, I've done that, right? Where you start overthinking what you did before. You start thinking the what ifs. What if I did that? What if I did this? What if I said that? What if... And then all of a sudden, you're in the present and you're completely stuck. So, I was just thinking how, Medusa kind of relates to this in just, I guess, a symbolic way, which is like, if Medusa's chasing you, that's like you in the mindset of being caught up in your past, And if you focus, right, on those past mistakes, which we all have, I know I have my fair share. Matter of fact, my past is one gigantic mistake. But the reality is, if you look back and you focus on that past, that Medusa past, you're going to turn to stone and you're going to get stuck, right? And I know this because I've done it before, entirely. I mean, I've missed months of my life because I was so caught up in my past that when I looked at those Medusa histories, I turned to stone instantly, right? And I'm talking stone, okay? Not getting stoned, right? And the thing is, like, when I do get stoned, I tend to overthink things, and, like, overthinking something isn't even doing it justice. It's like a complete overstep. Like, hey, don't come into this. We don't want you here. The overthink is like, all right, we won't go there. The overstep stone stage is like, we're running through, we're breaking through. It's like a bull in a china shop, and the china shop is your emotions, and the bowl is the weed destroying everything. Okay, I get paranoid easily is what I'm trying to say. But that's not the point. The point here is that think about Medusa chasing you out of the cave. Medusa is those negative thoughts about your past. You turn around and you focus on those thoughts, you're going to get stuck. Now, that's not to say you shouldn't use those to get further, right? But the fact is, if you focus so much on those thoughts, they are negative thoughts, and they'll just stick you in place, and you won't get anywhere. And I guess going into this whole thing is like, the idea of Medusa, right? Right? You look at her, you get stuck, you're done, you're stoned, that's it. But you defeat her, and now you use her head as a weapon, okay? And that's similar to the history, your mistakes of the past. They could be your greatest enemy or they could be your greatest ally. You could focus on them and get stuck, or you can learn from them and use those mistakes to, I guess, really conquer any obstacles in your life going forward. And I think that I'm going to be making some more videos that kind of dive into these emotional sides. And I really like going at the emotion and the psychology, because I think it really is a huge determinant. Okay, enough of using big words. It determines your future, right? Your psychology, I guess your mentality, where your emotions are, if they're balanced or imbalanced, right? It's like, you would think that the brain is like, we're here now, we're good, we got everything going, but that's not the case. And that really interests me. And I mean, going through some rough periods, I don't know. I've written a lot. I journal a lot of my emotions, and now I want to take them and apply them to, I guess, something like this, right? But use comedy as well. We got to make it funny. Nothing has to be so crazy serious that it can't be funny. I believe in that 100%. So, I hope you enjoyed the comedy show. I hope you enjoyed the Medusa. I hope you enjoyed the idea of Medusa on you. You could use it. You either turn to stone, or you could use her. You could use it as a power. You know what I mean? So, going off the ancient Greek thing, I guess this podcast was a little bit of a drama and a comedy all in one. The ancient Greeks, they love their dramas and comedies. And going forward, I think I want to start to intermix the YouTube channel as a drama comedy. And when I say drama, I don't mean like, oh my God, did you see what so-and-so said to so-and-so? I mean like a bit more on the serious side. There will be the comedy with the jokes and all that good stuff, making fun of feminists. No, there will be the comedy. Well, if I was to make fun of feminists, I'd have to make fun of myself, because I am one. But, which, I mean, I make fun of myself often. So, following themes, but, a mixture of serious stuff that's important to me, but also funny stuff that is also extremely important to me. So, all in all, I hope you really enjoyed listening to this. I really enjoyed writing some material, for Medusa. She's a great gal. I actually got a date with her tonight. We're meeting in the garden, you know what I mean? But, yeah, so thank you for listening. This was the Gemini Podcast, Episode 6, Medusa Mantra. Have a great day. See you later.